The Parker family and the Wells family combined. Episode 1. When God closes one door, he opens another. Act 1. The unexpected arrival. In the higher echelons of the heavenly realm, the Angel Jericho sat behind a massive desk carved from solid, translucent quartz. His office was a place of quiet focus, illuminated by the steady, ambient glow of eternal light. On the desk lay parchment scrolls tracking the assignments of various guardian spirits across the earth. For Jericho, managing the paths of mortal souls was a sacred duty, one that usually followed a precise, predictable order. Suddenly, a sharp, resonant knock rattled the heavy oak doors of his office. "Come in," Jericho called out, his voice echoing with authoritative warmth. The doors swung open, and 3 figures stepped over the threshold. Jericho's breath caught, and his brilliant halo flared with absolute shock and surprise. Walking into the room were Tyras Wells and D.A. Wells, but standing right between them was Thomas Harrington. Thomas was no longer clad in the gray jumpsuit of a mortal inmate. Instead, a pair of large, pure white angel wings folded hesitantly against his back, and a softly glowing golden halo hovered above his brow. Yet, despite his new celestial form, Thomas looked completely defeated. His shoulders slumped, his eyes were cast downward toward the crystalline floor, and his spirit seemed weighted by an overwhelming sense of confusion. Jericho stood up slowly from his desk, his own towering wings rustling in disbelief as he looked directly at the 2 cousins. "Tyras D.A., Jericho asked, his tone demanding answers. "Tell me what happened." His earthly mission was supposed to just begin. Tyras stepped forward, his expression solemn as his halo pulsed with a quiet, sorrowful light. The trials of the physical world moved faster than anyone anticipated, Jericho. The environment became too heavy, and his time on Earth came to an abrupt, sudden end. His mortal chapter is completely finished. D.A. placed a supportive hand on Thomas's angelic shoulder. When his door on Earth was suddenly closed, the Lord opened the gates of heaven for him. "We brought him straight to you." Thomas finally lifted his head slightly, his voice trembling as he looked at the commander of assignments. "I don't understand. Everything went dark, and then I was here. I feel like I failed at everything down there." Jericho looked at Thomas with profound gentleness, his voice softening. "You are safe now, Thomas. The struggles of the earth can no longer touch you. Your old life is behind you, and a new purpose is waiting. Rest your spirit." Act 2. The gathering in the mansion. A short distance away from the administrative courts of heaven, the landscape opened up into a breathtaking valley where majestic mansions stood among fields of shimmering gold grass. Inside one of these beautiful, light-filled estates, a peaceful family gathering was taking place. Noriko Parker sat near a grand, arched window that looked out over a peaceful, celestial garden. Her radiant angel wings adjusted comfortably behind her as she laughed softly, bonding and spending quality time with her father, Chio Parker, and her grandmother, Chihiro. The atmosphere in the mansion was filled with a deep sense of warmth and unity, a perfect sanctuary of love. Chio, the son of the great Amin Parker, smiled as he looked at his daughter. "It brings my heart so much joy to see you resting like this, Noriko. You fought so hard during your mortal years, operating those massive armor suits and protecting the innocent. To see you here, fully transformed into an angel, is a true blessing." "It's because of the foundation we were given, Father," Noriko replied, her halo shining brightly as she looked around the room. Chihiro, the 3rd wife of Amin Parker, sat beside them with a serene but contemplative expression. Because Amin had fully ascended to primordial status alongside the other 11 primary Parkers, he was now completely invisible and voiceless to the angels. He was omnipresent, existing in the very fabric of the room and everywhere at once, but because he had no physical or angelic form to hold, Chihiro lived with the quiet reality of being a heavenly widow. Yet she carried no sorrow. "Your grandfather's legacy is woven into the very air we breathe," Chihiro said softly, looking up toward the glowing ceiling as if acknowledging the unseen presence of her husband. "Even though we cannot see Amin or hear his voice, his faithfulness to the Almighty paved the way for all of us to be here." Noriko nodded, her heart swelling with reverence as she remembered her grandfather Amin. "He always taught us that, no matter how much the universe changes, our devotion must never waver. Let us honor his memory the way he would want us to." Together, the 3 of them lifted their voices in beautiful unison, turning their hearts entirely toward worshiping Jesus Christ. Their angelic voices harmonized perfectly, filling the grand rooms of the mansion with praises of gratitude, recognizing that the Lord's love is the one constant anchor across all of existence. Act 3. The new student. Before the celestial day advanced any further, the focus shifted back to the courtyard outside the judicial halls. Thomas Harrington stood in the gentle light, still looking at his hands and adjusting to the unfamiliar weight of his new wings. Though his earthly life had ended in a dark, confined place far away from the light of day, the atmosphere around him now was completely open and free. He was no longer a prisoner, and he was no longer alone. D.A. and Tyras Wells stood firmly by his side. The transition from being his invisible guardian angels to his visible mentors was a profound shift. For the first time, Thomas could look directly into the eyes of the two cousins who had watched over him through his darkest hours on Earth. "The road ahead of you is going to be a journey of learning, Thomas," Tyras said, offering a warm, reassuring smile as his white wings spread wide. "You spent a long time walking in the dark down below, but here, the truth is completely clear. We are going to mentor you, step by step." D.A. nodded in agreement, his golden halo casting a warm light over Thomas's face. "The past is gone, Thomas. Every mistake, every broken promise, and every piece of regret you carried in that prison cell has been washed away. You have a clean slate in the kingdom of the Almighty." Thomas looked at the two cousins, a faint but genuine sense of peace finally beginning to replace the heavy defeat in his heart. For the first time in a very long time, he didn't feel the crushing weight of judgment. He felt the protective embrace of a new family. "Thank you," Thomas whispered, his wings rustling softly as he took his first confident step forward on the golden path. "Teach me how to walk in the light." Tyras and D.A. walked on either side of him, guiding him toward the beautiful horizons of eternity, proving that when God closes one door, he truly opens another.